Another heartbreaking video to make today, and we're talking about Walgreens. And Walgreens, I made this video like 6 months ago, right on this location. I was standing right here where we said that they're gonna probably close stores, and nobody believed me. And now we're here. The news is out. 1,200 stores are gonna go. Super tragic. All these employees gonna be gone, and they don't know which one is it yet. And today I'm going to talk about the broader impact it's going to have on everybody when these stores close. And all these people that had jobs here are going to be let go. 1,200. I tried to find last time how many people actually worked at one of these stores. And they only gave you like rough estimates. It's like 20 to 30, 50 at the max. So 20 times 1,200 stores. That's just the employees itself. But as you see in front of Walgreens, there's delivery drivers. There's all these other businesses around Walgreens that have contracts that help Walgreens stay a business. They're gonna cancel their contract and be done. So companies like this person over here delivering items is not gonna have to do that no more. So he's gonna be out of a job, or his route's gonna be shorter. And if his only job was to supply Walgreens in the areas, he might be out of a job too. And so it's start adding up. It's just really gonna add up. And I think Walgreens violated one of my key three principles. And now you're like, what are those? So you need to have a good product, good customer service, and availability. So let's go over it. So a good product. And this is where I think Walgreens kind of messed up. When you talk about Walgreens, what are you talking about? Are you talking about the pharmacy? Are you talking about beers? Are you talking about cosmetics? What are you talking about? And I don't use Walgreens pharmacy. I use like Costco, or I actually use my doctor's office to get them because I get them so much cheaper. But also this guy that delivers, I just saw him unload pallets of beers and liquor, is also going to be closing down his route. So there is so much stuff that is going on. And I don't know if this is a convenience store, if this is a pharmacy, because they do have drive-through traffic, as you can see right there, for people using the pharmacy. And I don't know why you need such a big store if your key product is pharmacy. And I'm curious to hear from you if you think that Walgreens is a pharmacy or if it's like a convenience store, because I feel like a convenience store is more like 7-Eleven that kind of has like a little bit of everything, but maybe Walgreens a little higher end 7-Eleven maybe, like CVS kind of type of deal. But yeah, I have no idea. So kind of shaky on the good product section. Then customer service. And when I'm talking about good customer service, I'm talking about, do they help you? Can they return stuff for you? Are they nice to you? And I think Walgreens did a pretty good job of vetting these people and hiring them. I think most of these people that I've seen at Walgreens are pretty nice, according to my interactions with them. So I can't say that they have bad customer service. So I think they're good on this one. And now let's look availability. And availability is funny because there are Walgreens everywhere. And now there's going to be starting to be less and less Walgreens everywhere because they're starting to close down. And now, when you're starting to see all these close down, it's going to be really interesting to see how it's going to impact, because all these stores that are going to be let go, all are done from the headquarters, from the CEO. And this is what my main problem is that most of these companies, most of these CEOs come in, and I feel like this is the life of a CEO. You come in, you get voted in, and you have owners that hold shares, right? And in Walgreens particular, it is Vanguard. And Vanguard owns 8%, according to whatever I have on the screen. I think it was like last year. They hold about 8%. And now to have a say in the company, you need to own more than 5%. So now they own more than 5%, so they get a say. So what is your job as the CEO? To make more profits. So how is the easiest way you can do that? Well, you follow a very, very simple playbook. You increase marketing, you fire a bunch of people, and you then increase profit, and you move on to the next company, and you cycle and you repeat. No one CEO is trying to fix the company and trying to get it back to its glory without firing and closing down locations and then rinsing and repeating it. Most CEOs come in, fire people, keep the same revenue but increase profitability, just cut the headcount, and then they move on. And there might be some outliers. I think the Chipotle CEO kind of turned Chipotle around. That's why he's at Starbucks now. But now we're seeing with the Chipotle CEO that when he turned Chipotle around, that it was like, okay, we're gonna, like I think, no, the Chipotle CEO turned Taco Bell around, something like that. And he kind of like saved them and did all this stuff with the Doritos and all this kind of stuff. I might be mixing them up, but something like that. They're not in the business of fixing it. They're just releasing the pain. They're like a pop-off valve when the pressure cooker gets too big. So now you rinse and repeat that, and nobody really understands the true core value of the business. And if you have a CEO that's been there from day one, you have a really good CEO that really is focused on the key aspect of the business and knows it from in and out. So what I would love to see is these CEOs get promoted from within. So first you work for Walgreens as a teller, and then you're maybe working in the pharmacy a little bit, then you're a district manager, and you kind of move up the food chain and then become a CEO. And I don't know if this current CEO did that or not, but this is then you kind of understand the business and the core customer so you can cater to these customers. Because now what these people do is they just go and read some focus groups, and they hire these focus groups, and then they're done. So they hire these groups, these super expensive companies. Actually, I think one of them is like Deloitte or something. They come in, they coach these, they say, hey, this is who we think your core customer is, and then you basically get a handbook, and this is who your core customer is, and then you're done, and you just kind of follow their playbook and you do that. And when it's like shaky like Walgreens, where you're like, oh, we have all these other situations where we have liquor and we don't know what their core like product is. It's like when you talk about other stores, when you talk about Walmart, grocery store, it has everything. When you talk about McDonald's, it's like hamburgers. And it'd be interesting to see if McDonald's starts selling, like, I don't know, medication. That's kind of like where I feel like Walgreens is at. It's just like, oh, we have a pharmacy. Let's just start selling liquor. Let's just start selling t-shirts. Let's start selling sandals and flippers. And let's start selling cards and all this other stuff too, just trying to get the people to pay more. And it's not cheap, it's expensive. And now what we're seeing is that people don't want to do that, because I truly think that people have their preferred stores. Like if you go to grocery shopping, you're not going to go to Walgreens to shop for groceries. You go to Trader Joe's, you go to Walmart, you go to Publix, you go to Albertsons. And then if you want like convenience, you go to maybe Target, Walmart, or another store to buy this product. And if you want to buy coffee, you go to Dunkin' Donuts or something else. And you don't go to CVS to buy all of that, because it's just like not what you do. And now I'm wondering, all these people that are going to be let go, what are they going to do? So and if you are one of them and you're like, I'm going to looking for a job, shoot me a message on LinkedIn, see if I can help. This is my LinkedIn banner. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. I do this video all the time. So now you're in a spot where you need to fix Walgreens. As your higher ups, as your C-suite executive, it is your job to keep the company running. And cutting down stores and cutting your headcount down isn't going to be what's going to save you. You need to revamp Walgreens. You need to come up with something that brings people in. You need something to drive these people in, and have the pharmacy way in the back so you can trying to get these people to pay an extra few pennies on the way out to go like, oh, let me get a milk box or a carton of eggs or something else. I don't know if that's going to be the saving grace of Walgreens or CVS to speak, because people just don't. People can use like pharmacy, Rite Aid. They can use all these delivery services that deliver their medication. They can use Amazon pharmacies. They got all these other ones now, or Costco pharmacy, or all these other ones to kind of use more convenience, right? Or they can ship it now and do all these other things. And now, all these people that have been let go are going to be like, oh shit, where am I going to go? So what is that going to? That's going to increase your competitiveness in the market. So that means it's going to be more competitive to be a cashier, to be a stalker, or to do all these kind of things. It's going to make it more competitive. And I don't think we've seen the end of it. I was thinking about at the end of this year, we might see an upward trend, but not as it's looking, because all these store closures has been over the next 3 years. They're saying over the next few years. So now it's going to take us 2 to 3 years to see that. And then the aftermath is going to show in another 2 years. So what we're seeing today isn't going to really be too bad till 5 years from now. And when I'm looking at all these stores, all these Walgreens, all these other stores, it is telling them a warning sign that something isn't right in the market. So if you have if you're a convenience store owner and Walgreens can't stay in business, what does that do to your small business? What does that do to your corner store? Because when big players lose money, it is not good. Because when these big players, they have huge negotiation powers, right? So when you come in and Vanguard owns 5 to 8% of your company, you're in the Vanguard network. So you get access to Vanguard people that have Vanguard connections, and you can make great deals. Could go yes, could go no, right? But now you, as a small mom and pop shop, are going to be in a really interesting spot, and it's going to be really interesting to see how this is going to do it. Because are you going to get more business? Most likely you're going to get more business. Or are all these people going to move to another store and not yours because it's not convenient for them? So these are all questions that are too early to say, because how are we going to predict all these patterns? And when you're looking at Walgreens, I looked last time, I think only 3% was off of theft. That's what they did, like in their filings. So it was like, oh, 3% we claimed was to theft. So 3% of all items, or 3% of their goods, kind of got stolen. What isn't too bad according to some retail people. I don't know, I'm not in retail, so this is just me speaking from what other people say and just repeating what I see. So I think 3% for a huge corporation is a huge waste. But now there is something else on the horizon, all these layoffs, right? And so what is that going to do? If you're going to be one of these stores that are going to go out of business, you as an employee are going to not give two shits if your company's going to go out of, if they're going to steal even more. So is that going to give you more, as a chief, is that going to give you more like, hey, let me just go over there, they're going to close anyways, so we're going to let them go. We're going to let all these people go anyways, so let's just go and take some more stuff, because they're not going to need it, and they're going to be out of business anyways. And now it's going to be also interesting is, are all these people that are going to be let go, are all these people going to jump ship early, or are they going to weather it out and wait? Because if I was going to get the news that my store is going to be closing, I'd be looking for a job. And why would you, as an employee, now go work for Walgreens or put in your application and not stop job searching because you might be one of these stores? So you might as well avoid it like the plague, because if you're going to find a job and you're like, yeah, I finally got it, and then you might have a job for a year, and then there's no relocation, or you can't work at another store, so then you're out. And then you're going to be like at square one again. So let me know if you would work at Walgreens, or if you just be like, you know what, I'd rather go to another store that has more sustainability. Because if you know the ship's going to sink, would you board it, or would you not even get on it? So the thing is like the Titanic. Would you board the Titanic if you had the knowledge or not that it's going to sink? Yeah, there's some life vests and some lifeboats, but hey, do you want to be that person to test it out? I don't think so. So you might as well not apply, because you might only have a job for 6 months or a year, And in the best case scenario, you have a job for indefinite because they haven't said what stores close and what not, and what don't, right? So interesting times we're living in, and yeah, it is absolutely brutal. So if you haven't liked this video and you watched for so long, please consider liking and subscribing. I really appreciate that. You guys are really amazing. And it's interesting just talking about these instances where these companies make these big moves. These CEOs use these, they chew it up and then they spit it out. They chew it up and spit it out, and rinse and repeat. So brutal times. And I'm in my minivan today. I'm gonna take to Arizona. It's a really nice car. I never thought that I'd like, that me as actually like semi-car guy kind of like a minivan like that. But it's a really neat car, and it's very spacious, roomish, has room, and it has all these key features now that it opens up the doors. Like you can, with the key fob, you can just open up the doors, and it's like, wow, it's like these minivans are spacious and roomish. Look at that. They got like, I never knew that minivans looked that fly, and it's like 7-seater. So I was surprised because I could have sworn you could never catch me dead in a minivan. Not even on the way to the funeral home in a casket. But no, here I am. That's actually pretty decent. So like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.